When a black couple is told by a racist realtor that a luxury estate is suddenly under contract, they walk away, only to return in a helicopter as the actual buyers. What happens next leaves the realtor speechless. This true-to-life story of power, racism, and revenge shows what happens when privilege meets preparation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful real-life storytelling. Are you sure we're at the right place? Darius asked, glancing at his watch for the third time. Yes, said his wife, Naomi, double-checking the email. 11:30 a.m. 217 Green Hill Estates. Realtor's name is Karen, of course. They both chuckled, but there was an edge to the laughter. Darius adjusted his tailored blazer, and Naomi smoothed the hem of her ivory sundress as they stood at the gates of the upscale, exclusive neighborhood in the hills overlooking Napa Valley. The homes in Green Hill weren't just houses. They were estates, the kind featured in luxury magazines, the kind that came with private vineyards and 8-car garages. Darius, a successful entrepreneur in the solar tech industry, and Naomi, an Ivy League-educated fashion brand owner, had worked tirelessly to reach this level. This was their dream, buy a forever home to raise their future children. But 30 minutes passed, and the realtor never came. That's when they saw her, a blonde woman in a red BMW SUV, parked a block away, peeking at them through sunglasses. Naomi waved. The woman didn't wave back. She instead made a call. Seconds later, Darius' phone buzzed. Hi, this is Karen from Sunridge Realty. I'm so sorry, but the house has just been placed under contract. It's no longer available for showings. Naomi frowned. That's odd. You didn't say that in your confirmation email an hour ago. Well, Karen said with a tight voice, it was a sudden cash offer. These homes move quickly. Just then, a white couple strolled past the gates. Karen stepped out her car, beaming, clipboard in hand. Wait, Naomi said, isn't that the house? The couple followed Karen up the steps of the home they had been scheduled to see. Naomi took a deep breath. Darius pulled her gently aside. Let it go, he whispered. She's not worth it. I'm tired of letting it go, Naomi replied. It's 2025. We're not going to be invisible. Darius nodded, jaw clenched. You're right. They walked calmly back to their Range Rover and drove off, but not far, just enough to park along the ridge nearby, with a view stretched endlessly across the vineyards and skyline. Naomi pulled out her phone. I'm calling James. James Kim was their private wealth manager and a personal friend. More importantly, he had connections. Within the hour, things were set in motion, because the house wasn't actually under contract, because Karen had lied, because she assumed, based on skin color alone, that Naomi and Darius didn't belong there. 3 days later, Karen arrived at Green Hill Estates again, this time preparing for a private sale walkthrough with a VIP buyer whose name had been kept confidential. She had done her hair extra nice and brought her top-tier brochures. A big commission was on the line. The sound came before the sight, a low rumble that built into a thunderous hum. From behind the hills, a sleek black helicopter descended toward the private landing pad behind the estate. Karen's jaw dropped. Out stepped Naomi in sunglasses and a white pantsuit, followed by Darius in a sharp navy ensemble. Karen blinked. Why, you're the buyers. Naomi smiled. No, owners. Karen stammered. But that's not possible. I didn't. Because you refused to show it to us, Darius finished. We bought it directly through the seller's lawyer. Cash. Naomi added, your name won't be on this commission, or any commission in Green Hill again. Karen flushed, speechless. And Naomi said calmly, since we're now part of the HOA board, we'll be discussing realtor conduct codes in next month's meeting. Karen stood frozen as the couple walked past her into their new home. Later that night, Naomi posted the experience online, video of Karen refusing to show the house, the helicopter footage, and a breakdown of what housing discrimination really looks like today. The video gained 15 million views in 48 hours. Thousands shared their own stories. News stations picked it up. The California Realtor Licensing Board launched an investigation. Sunridge Realty issued a public apology, but it was too late. Naomi ended her post with these words. To every black couple who's ever been told they're not a fit for a neighborhood, remember, ownership isn't about permission. It's about power. By the time Monday rolled around, Naomi and Darius's phones were overflowing with messages. Journalists wanted interviews. Black homeowners from all over the country were reaching out in solidarity. Naomi's post had struck a chord, not just because of the drama, but because of the truth it revealed. In neighborhoods like Green Hill Estates, racism wasn't shouted from the rooftops. It was whispered in decisions, quietly passed off as misunderstandings. But this time, someone had receipts. CNN aired a segment titled Discrimination in Disguise, and Naomi appeared live on Good Morning America the following week. It's not just about one house, she told the host. It's about decades of black families being locked out of generational wealth because someone assumes they don't belong. Sunridge Realty CEO issued an apology, but Karen, she vanished from the company's website. Her real estate license was officially under review. Darius and Naomi settled into their new home with quiet pride. The estate, which had once felt like a symbol of exclusion, now became a beacon of something bigger. Naomi hosted brunches for black businesswomen and emerging realtors. She launched a scholarship for young black students pursuing real estate licensing, named after a grandmother who once cleaned homes for a living. Darius began a mentorship program for black engineers and tech entrepreneurs. Together, they turned their estate into a hub of opportunity. But the most emotional moment came when Naomi invited her parents over for dinner one evening. Her father, a retired postman who had worked 2 jobs to help put her through Princeton, stood in awe in the marble foyer. He whispered, "Your grandmother used to clean houses like this." Naomi took his hand and said, "Now we own one." Months later, Naomi received an envelope in the mail. It was from Karen. Inside was a handwritten letter. "I realize now what I did. I saw your skin before I saw your worth. You had every right to expose me. I'm not asking for sympathy, just understanding. I've lost my license, my clients, and a piece of myself. But maybe losing that part is what I needed." Naomi read it quietly, folded it, and placed it in a drawer. She didn't hate Karen. She pitied the smallness of her world. As fall approached, Darius and Naomi hosted a community dinner on their vineyard lawn. People of all races, backgrounds, and stories filled the space. Naomi stood to speak. "We didn't move here to prove anything. We moved here because we belong. And so do all of you. This house isn't just our dream. It's a rewrite of the American story." The crowd rose in applause. Darius wrapped his arm around Naomi, whispering, "You know what the best revenge is?" She smiled. "Living well." He kissed her temple. "Living loud." And as music played into night, their estate no longer stood as a symbol of exclusion, but one of resistance, restoration, and representation. Discrimination hides in subtle acts, but justice roars in truth and action. The best way to break barriers is not just to break in, but to build new doors for others.